Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, day 5 to the Casino Source Code event. This is going awesome. I'm super pumped for everyone, and today we're talking about hot games in low competition environments, which is a terrific. I think you guys are going to get a ton of value out of this because I'm going to go through an exact example in the App Store, which you're really going to like on this. So welcome, and thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate you taking the time. And a huge shout out for everyone, anyone who's purchased anything so far, slots, roulette, let it red, high-low, or even anyone who's just taken the time to come and check this out. The traffic on the site has been through the roof, which is really exciting, and we've had some awesome response and feedback. So I really just want to say thank you for doing that. I'm really excited about this. Today, what we're going to talk about is the hot games in low competition. Okay, what we're going to start with is what it is and real examples of what I'm talking about here, so you can see exactly what's going on. The second thing we're going to talk about is what you can do about this. And we're going to talk both about games and casino, but we're also going to talk about just general app stores. So anyone out there who says, hey, I want to apply some of these strategies, but I'm not necessarily into the gaming thing, I'm going to give you some exact examples that you can use anywhere. And the third is obviously we're going to introduce some new source code. So I want to show you a picture. I took this screenshot actually this morning or yesterday now that it's day 5. And what this is the actual iTunes store. And what you'll notice, everyone probably knows this by now, in the gaming category, there's obviously these subcategories over on the right here. Now the red is pointing out the card, casino, and dice. We all know that those are the bread and butter of the casino world. And then the green arrows I pointed to board and trivia. I mean, those are kind of getting into a little bit of the casino mentality, not really, but they're kind of a little bit of bleed over, and you're starting to see some advertisements in those games. But for all intents and purposes, we've got 3 of all the gaming categories. They're casino-based subcategories. Now I want to show you something. I took a screenshot. I looked through. This is the dice, the charts. And we talked about this at the beginning on the first day. There are 5 actual dice games. As far as I can tell, there's 5 dice games in the dice category top 32. Now, obviously you can see backgammon and boggle, but those don't really count. And unless I'm missing something, I've seen 5 dice games. Now think about that. You've got a dice subcategory. It's all about dice games, and yet only 5 of them are actually dice games. Right? And I look at that and I'm thinking to myself, what is going on here? Because when you really think about it, the reason Apple built this is that people go to the dice category to find dice games. That is a natural extension of the casino category. And people are going to go to dice and they're going to say, why are there not dice games? Where are they? And so people, like everyone, myself included, everyone in the world is killing it on this dice category because there's no competition for actual dice games. No one's putting any dice games in here, so it just gets filled up with all this other stuff. And so everyone else enjoys these awesome ranks, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because there's just no dice games in the dice subcategory, which is kind of mind-blowing, right? You think about it. So we switch over and you look at the card category as a point of reference here, and there's 17 of the 32. And this doesn't even take into account the casino games, right? So Big Fish and GSN, all the major casino games, I didn't even highlight those. These are all just straight up actual card games. And so this is what a more mature marketplace would look like. Almost half of them are card games, and you get a few things here and there. But this is a little bit more competitive, and there's a little bit more consistency in this. Now, let's be honest here. I mean, Dice clearly they've least amount of competition for any of these casino-related categories, but it also means the least amount of volume. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's the same numbers. It's definitely lower for various reasons. And what that means is you need to find these hidden winners. You need to find the ways to go into these lower volume but lower competitive environments and still have a winning strategy. So you can turn the smaller numbers into big revenue, especially in these targeted niches. Okay, because when you do that, it's easier to get to the top of the charts and make more money in the process. Okay, so let me just say that one more time. When you're in lower competition places like the dice category, it's easier to get to the top of the charts. And even though the volume is lower, if you're at the top of the charts, it's a good position to be in for not only for quality, but remember, we're going into the holidays. We're going to have huge download spikes. And that's a rising tide that's going to lift all the boats, right? If you get to the top of that chart, you better believe that those numbers are going to go up at the top of the charts just as much as they would anywhere else. So that's a really good place to be, and you might as well capitalize on low competition places. Now, this is true all over the App Store. This isn't just the dice category, okay? And this comes from looking at a lot of research, talking to a lot of people, and just, observing this for the last few years. Now, here's just a handful of pickings that I've done with apps like Reference, with catalogs, with finance, with medical, weather, okay? Weather to a certain extent, but everything else, I mean, you look through these categories, and when you take away all the brands, for example, in finance, you take away all the banks, there's really not much there. And same with Reference. It's just these kind of brands that build out, 80 different versions of one type of textbook. They just reskin the whole thing. And the thing about these categories is that they're typically very boring. That, no one's getting really fired up about becoming the Reference app king or queen. And so because of that, there can be pretty low competition. There's just not a lot of people putting a lot of effort in like ASO. I mean, you guys think about how much energy you put into your ASO to compete in these really competitive environments, because that's where the volume is. But what you can think about is that there's low competition here too. And there's a lot of lucrative people that want good apps. So there's a lot of people, LSAT students trying to study for the law exam, MCAT students trying to study for the medical exams, people who want to find historical information in the reference category, anything. So just that paradigm is very familiar, right? Because casino is that for the gaming category. When you look at the gaming category, casino is the highest money demographic. That's why all the advertisers spend all their money, because that profile of people are the ones that spend all the money. And so as a test, I said, okay, the dice category is not competitive, and I could build a dice app and test this out. Talk is cheap, so I'm going to go and see if I could do this, because I kept seeing in the dice category these Farkle apps that would pop up here and there, and it looked relatively easy to build. And I said, all right, well, why don't I build this and do it the right way and make it really nice and make it really good. And so I launched the thing. And I launched it, and I did absolutely no marketing, nothing. And it went up to number 23 for the iPad in the dice category, number 33 in the iPhone for dice. And it's made over $700 on autopilot. I've done absolutely nothing for this. I mean, I updated for like the SDKs and all that stuff, but I haven't reskinned it at all. I haven't tweaked the ASO. I haven't done serious marketing on anything. And this is just because it went into a category, and it was one of the few dice games, and people said, oh, finally, I actually get a dice game in a dice category. This is amazing. And the rankings, followed suit. So similar success happened on the Google Play and Amazon store. I released those. They did well. It was great. I mean, as you can imagine. And that was it kind of opened my eyes to this entire whole new concept. And so what can you do about this, right? What's actionable for you? You can identify these low competition environments. And the best place to start is use the list I gave you. I mean, we just went through it, the reference and the finance and the medical and all that, and go through them and say, wow, there's not a lot of competition here. And you can go in there and say, I could really take this on. In the gaming category, do the same thing. I mean, you can obviously start with dice. That's a great place to start. But there's other, places in the gaming subcategories where if it's called strategy and half the games in there are not strategic, that is an underserved market. Don't think about how many apps there are in there. Think about how many apps are in there that match the name of the actual subcategory. And that's the piece that a lot of people miss. Because when you take that and you put winning models into those environments, you go and you guys use all the skills you have to market and to monetize and to use everything, you're going to have a great match. You're going to have what's in marketing, when you can match the product to the person, you get a very, very successful sale. And that's when you start to have success, and that's when you start to go up the charts, and that's when you start to ride those charts going into the holiday season, especially into things like the dice category, where there's tons and tons of opportunities still remaining. And what I mean by that is, when you search on your phone things like bingo, you're going to get 5,000 results. And when you go and you type in something like Farkle, there's only 71 results. I mean, there's 71 results. And I launched this, and I'm up to number 23 or number 33 for iPhone. I mean, that's awesome, right? And there's clearly a big demand here. People are seeking this out, but no one's done this yet. So we've got the iOS, the Google Play version, the Amazon, everything. And this is a home run for the holidays. I mean, I don't know how better to serve this up. You can build something, you can use a source code, you can establish your high rank and then ride the wave as those holiday season comes in and really collect that traffic. And because of that, because this is a big opportunity, I'm going to put this on my site at some point for $3.99. All 3 platforms, obviously. Guys, I've never released this. You've never seen this. No one's ever seen this. I haven't done this for any membership sites, for anything. This has never been released before, and especially on the website. So no one's ever done this, and a lot of that helps keep the numbers way down. And so for 24 hours, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys the opportunity at $179 if you want to take advantage of this. It's totally up to you. It's absolutely on your terms, but realize that this is a time-sensitive opportunity. This is going to be one of those things where you go in and you can be first and you can be at the front of the pack and you can make it happen. And this is a smoking deal because I just proved it how easy it was for me to do it. And so I know that you guys with your skills can have similar success. I can't promise that, but obviously, like what else could I do? I kind of lay it all out for you. So get it before it's off the table. Click the button below. And I'm serious about the 24-hour thing. You guys will probably see on my previous pages, you can't get there anymore. They all redirect to these pages now. So I'm serious about this 24-hour thing. So click on that button and take advantage of this. As always, 14-day money-back guarantee, so you can buy it. Don't have to worry about it. Risk-free opportunity here, and you can be rest assured on that. No pressure. Tomorrow, what we're going to start talking about is I'm going to get really serious about crystallizing your portfolio, guys. I want to talk about how you can start leveraging your assets and how you can start building that really awesome casino portfolio and how you can start getting the synergy that you want going into the holidays so that you have this huge, huge group of apps working for you and compounding itself and growing and growing. So this deal is going to be gone by then. It's going to be over, and I would definitely recommend having this at least in your back pocket just to have it because it's going to be a huge, huge upside for your portfolio. So click the button, get your copy. I think you'll definitely be pumped about it. It's easy to reskin. You'll see what I'm talking about. And in the meantime, I will see you guys later. All right, take care. Bye.